Hey guys, Skippy coming at you today with another video. Today, we got my Scx10ii trail honcho, and we'll be putting a new rear axle on that. I got the Yeah Racing axle housing with the RC four-wheel drive axle ends, and basically we're just going to be throwing that on today and getting some weight down low. The stock axle on the back, it's not actually even broken, but I do want to upgrade it just mainly for the weight down low. So I'm going to get the camera down. I have the stock axle from the front, I believe, or another SCX vehicle, but I have one off here that I want to compare against the Yeah Racing axle here for you. So I can bring the camera down here and kind of show you the difference of what they look like here. Alright, so up front here with the red pumpkin cover here, this is the original axial housing there. This has the ends just molded in. This is all the one-piece axle here. It's very, very light compared to the Yeah Racing. If you look at the Yeah Racing axle housing here, the pumpkin's a little bit beefier. They kind of have that similar design with the supports here. Of course, you have the same mounting options or mounting spots for your links and stuff. Let's see if I can get. Here's the back side of them. As some of you may know, I have the Yeah Racing axle housing and RC four-wheel drive components on the front for the front axle, and it's been holding up just fine, so I went with the same setup on the back, and I like it to be matching, so really excited to see what the weight in the back's going to do for me. You know, this truck's pretty light, and I think it could use some weight down low, especially in the back. You know, without having anything for the bed and things like that, I think I could get a decent bit more traction. So we'll see. But I am going to be doing some running footage today afterwards. So I'm going to get the camera up and I'll show you how to take this axle. First thing you got to do, just take off your tires. Pretty simple. In my case, maybe not so simple. I do have these metal bead locks that has the 6-lug conversion. So I will have 12 screws to take out just to get my wheels off here. But I do like the scale look of these wheels, having these definitely worth it in my opinion. Gets rid of that middle single nut on the back, and it's really not too bad to take off these to get the wheel off. I don't find myself taking my wheels off enough that it becomes inconvenient, but if it ever does, I could always get different wheels. There you go, there's one wheel. Now you have the single nut behind that, but we'll worry about that once we have the axle actually off the truck. For now, we're just going to work on getting the axle off the truck. Let's see about. And there's the second tire. Alright, from here, I'm going to take off my shocks, or my shock on the passenger side here, and the link on the passenger side, just since I'm already over here. And get the next size up here. Take that screw out. for the shock, and then take the screw out for the link here. This truck does have Vanquish links on it, so these links here are Vanquish. I didn't know at the time when I was buying them, but they're for the 12-inch wheelbase, not the 12.3-inch wheelbase. So the wheelbase on this truck is actually shortened up a little bit, not on purpose, but I tell you what, it handles pretty good, and I do like it. So I didn't really have a big reason to try to switch it or return it or do whatever to get it to the 12.3. So I've been liking driving it on the 12-inch wheelbase. It hasn't really made a big difference to me. Alright, so now that I have those links and that shock off, I just got to get this shock off. The nice thing is at the top of the axle where the two links meet, it's just one screw, so get to take two links out with one screw. And the shock here, or I mean the other link. So I just got to take my hub adapters off here and get my drive shaft off and, you know, get the internals out here real quick. So let me do that for you. Alright, now we got all that apart. Got the new axle here, so we're just going to pop the housing off of it. This is all the new hardware over there. So we've got the housing off here. Now we can go ahead and put the differential locker in here. And, oh, sorry. We have to put in the gear here first. Alright, so that's in there. Get the bearing for the back side here. Now we can go ahead and put this in there. Just like that. Then we've got to get some grease. And get it into the gears there. I just use regular old grease, nothing special, nothing RC car specific. It's always worked perfectly fine for me, and it's very cheap and you get a lot. So, you know, even if you have to change it more often than, say, a name brand RC car type grease, then, you know, it's still cheaper. But it's worked pretty good for me, and I really don't have to change it that often. So I got that in there. Now we can go ahead and put the cover on. Since we do have a metal axle now, we're going to need Loctite on a lot of these screws. And you do want to be careful, because although it is metal, it's not going to be super hard, strength and hardened metal, so you can strip them out pretty easy. I am using a drill to put these in, but I am being careful, so. Alright, so now that we have that, we can take our RC four-wheel drive housings, which I want the logo to face the rear, so I'm going to put this one on this side. So what you want to do is feed these through this way to where they sit like that. Then you can go ahead and put them in this way. Line up your drive shaft so that slides in, just spin it until it slides in. Then line this up where you want it, and then you'll be able to put a screw in it. Just make sure you pull tight on it towards the inside of the axle there. That way when you tighten it down, it's drawn all the way in where it needs to be. That's plenty tight there. These do have kind of a clamping style, so I know on the front I put more of the, I don't know what you call them, but the screws with this head on it instead of the rounded head, and you get a little bit more bite so you can tighten it down a little bit more. I'll just roll with what's supposed to be in there for right now until I have a problem with them. But the ones on the front, they kept coming loose on me, so I ended up doing those better screws and making sure they're Loctite real good, and then I didn't have a problem with them. So we'll see if, being that this is on the rear and it doesn't have any of the steering components on it, if it gives me an issue or not. Alright. That looks pretty even. So get another screw here. Let's see here. Let me see this here. Doesn't seem to be wanting to tighten up. Alright, like I said, you do have to be careful with these. I must have ended up stripping this one out, and it doesn't want to tighten up. So, easy fix for that is just get a longer screw and just put a nut on the other side of it. Not that I wanted to have it like that, but I managed to make the mistake of stripping it out, so that's what's got to be done. The screw here. Good thing I have lots of extra screws. And I'm just going to get a nut here. I don't want to take any from that because I'm not sure which ones of those I'm going to need for the rest of the build or the install for this. But I have a whole box of stuff here, so there we go. Although I didn't want to do it like this, at least I don't have to buy another set of these RC four-wheel drive ends. There we go. So this one has the nut on it, this one doesn't. Whatever. It's a trail truck, it gets put in the mud, it gets dirty, it gets beat up. That's how it goes. If I didn't do it now, I probably would have did it later. So just want to make sure everything free spins real good, and it does. Now I can put the rest of the stuff on the axle, like my drive shaft here. This is another thing for Loctite here. Then I can put the pins in for my hubs here, my hub adapters. And then the nut here. I like to make sure these are nice and tight because I can't get to them from inside, like the wheel. I have to take off all 6 of those wheel nuts to get to that. I just realized it's not seating on the pin there. There we go. There we go. Still spins good. Do the same to the other side. Make sure it's actually sitting on the pin this time. Alright, everything still spins good. And that's it. I have all the old bolts here from the axle. And I wish I could show you guys a weight difference. I don't have a little scale, but that's going to be something to get in the future here. But the weight difference between the two is just insane. So I'm really looking forward to see how it performs. But let's get this thing on the truck. And there it is. It's all installed on the rear axle here. RC4 drive ends. Yeah, racing axle. It's looking pretty good there. The front one's a little beat up, so it won't be a matter of time till, you know, that one looks like that. But one thing I wanted to mention is, which I still gotta do, but they come with a little screw to, it's like almost like they want it to be used as a drain plug or something, but there is a little hole there, and it does come with the little screw, so I'll put that on off camera here. But just, if you have these axles, don't forget to put that in there, or dirt's gonna go all in there. So I'm gonna try to go out and get some running footage, and hopefully I can get some I do have some other footage as well from us crawling before I put this axle on, you know, like from a month ago or something like that. So I'll probably just throw some clips in from that crawling experience there, just so you guys have some more running footage to watch. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to put some running footage in after this. Hopefully you'll enjoy. Like I said, some of the running footage was from a month or 2 ago. I'm just going to throw some in there just to use that footage. I've had it on my GoPro for a while, and it's just been sitting there, so might as well share it with you guys. So hopefully you enjoy, and have a nice day.